Hello hockey fans, and welcome back to another video. It's Sunday today, and that usually means on the Odd Man Rush YouTube channel I'd be uploading a whatever happened to, a what's happening to, or any other kind of deep dive into a specific player's NHL career. Unfortunately though, the Operation Slapshot video that I released earlier this week took a lot longer to finish than I initially intended. You should go and check it out if you haven't done so already, I'd really appreciate it, but it took a lot longer. I have 2 or 3 scripts in the work at the moment that are kind of half finished, a third of the way through. I'm still researching all of the things I need for them. I've got several good videos coming up the next couple of weeks or so, but unfortunately I didn't really have one of them ready for this weekend, so I've been kind of scrambling for the last couple of days going, okay, what am I actually going to make? I haven't got a script ready. I need to give you guys something, because you're always expecting something on a Sunday, and I want to make sure I give you guys something to watch on a Sunday. And then it clicked in my head. Why not, for the first time in quite a while actually on this channel, let's do an Odd Man Rush Q&A. I asked you guys to give me a load of questions. I put a post on my community tab. I'll show it on the screen right now. I did that yesterday evening before the Rangers game started, which I was really excited to watch, and it went very well, so I'm very glad. But yeah, you guys sent me some really good questions, so in today's video, we're going to talk through them. But first, ad time. Before we begin, this video is brought to you by Manscaped. Manscaped is the #1 provider of men's below-the-belt grooming, trusted by over 2 million customers worldwide, thanks to their precision-engineered tools that help you take care of what's down there. Let's be honest here, lads, looking after your crown jewels is a pretty risky affair. But with Manscaped's new and improved Lawnmower 3.0, you can rest easy knowing that your balls are in the best of hands. With a cutting-edge ceramic blade, 90-minute battery life, waterproof technology, and even an LED light, you never have to worry whether the lawnmower is up to the task. So all you have to do is focus on getting your junk exactly how you or your partner likes it. The folks at Manscaped recently sent me their Perfect Package 3.0 kit, and I've been very impressed with the number of high-quality products it provides. I've had this set for the last few weeks now, and I must say that I absolutely adore their ball deodorant. It has a gorgeous lavender smell to it, and if you use it after you shower, it leaves you feeling good and smelling great for the rest of the day. So if you want to get yourself some high-quality male grooming products, help support the channel a little bit further, and shave 20% off your order plus free shipping, head on over to manscaped.com and use the promo code OddManRush. That's manscaped.com and promo code OddManRush for 20% off your order plus free shipping. Manscaped, your balls will thank you. But anyway, back to the video. Now, I've had some really good comments from you guys on my community post, and unfortunately I don't think I'm going to be able to get through every single one, so I'm just going to pick out the ones that really stand out to me, or the really interesting ones, and I think I found the perfect one to start with, and that's from Seth Jaff. So thank you, Seth, for sending this in, and his question is, how did you get into hockey in a country where the sport is not very popular? For me, it was an invitation to a friend's birthday party at a Philadelphia Phantoms AHL game. Now, I've mentioned how I've got into the sport of hockey in several live streams over the last few months and years. It always seems to come up, one person seems to ask it pretty much every single live stream, but I don't think I've ever mentioned it in an actual video upload on this channel, so you know what, here's the chance for me to do so. If anybody wonders in future how this chubby British guy got interested in the sport of hockey, they can come to this video and get their answer. So, the short version of the short answer of that question, I should say, is video games and my dad got me interested in the sport of hockey. The long answer, during the mid-2000s, back in the days of my youth, you might say. God, it feels like a lifetime ago that it was the mid-2000s, doesn't it? During the mid-2000s, my family and I, every single year for summer vacation, we would take a trip over to somewhere in North America, whether it be in the United States or in Canada. Every single year we'd go over there, spend 2-3 weeks there, maybe 4 weeks tops, and just enjoy the North American summer, you know? And one year, my dad decided to pick me up a copy of NHL 2004 for the PC. Now, I'd never seen hockey before, I'd never played a hockey game or anything like that before. We then got back from the vacation. I played it for a little while, but I wasn't really particularly that interested in it, to be honest. And then there was one day several years after that, so this must have been like 2008, 2009, something like that. I picked it up again. I was just bored one day at home and I thought, I really don't have anything to do. You remember when you're like 11, 12, 13 or so and you literally have nothing to do? Like you've played all of your video games, you've done all of your homework, you've seen all of your friends, you just have one of those days where you have no responsibilities whatsoever and you're like, you know what? I don't really have anything to do. I need to find something to do with myself. And I saw NHL 2004 sitting there, waiting to be played. I picked it up again, and that's pretty much what happened. I started playing it constantly. It was the Dallas Stars versus the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim every single game. And yeah, it just pretty much spiraled from there. I started following the NHL. The first cup win I remember was the Boston Bruins winning it. I got really interested in the New York Rangers. I'm not quite sure how I got interested in the New York Rangers when the Bruins were the team winning the cup. And then I remember staying up late and listening to the radio casts, like the radio casts on the NHL app, because I didn't have the money to buy NHL TV. I didn't know how you could even watch it in this country at that point. And then just gradually it's carried on. I made this channel in about 2015, started making videos relatively consistently, found my niche a little bit, and here we are. I'm crazy about the sport, and I've managed to get to the point where a lot of other people that are interested in the sport like to watch my videos, so I really can't complain at that point, can I? So hopefully that answers your question. Essentially, NHL 2004 got me interested in the sport of hockey, and then after that, watching Pavel Datsyuk highlights, I was just like, wow, this sport is incredible. And here we are. So I hope that answers the question. Is that good? I hope so. It's a bit of a rambly answer, but there you go. The next question is from Callum Spink, so thank you Callum for sending this question, and it says as follows: what is your favourite NHL team/player and your least favourite team/player? Well, I think I answered the favourite team section in that first question. The New York Rangers, they are my favourite NHL team. I don't really like the taste of alcohol. I don't drink alcohol. I despise the taste. But if I ever become addicted to the hard stuff, the New York Rangers are 100% going to be the reason why, with their heart attack-inducing play over the last few years with this rebuild. I got to watch them come really close to a Stanley Cup in 2014, and then this rebuild has been good. I'm glad that they've decided to go through this rebuild. Things are looking up right now, but a lot of the defensive mistakes they make and a lot of the stupid penalties they take, I might be 6 feet under by the time this rebuild is complete, and I feel like a lot of other fans of other teams will feel the same. But yeah, New York Rangers is my favourite team. My favourite player, I don't really necessarily have favourite players. I was kind of thinking about this the last couple of days. I've kind of got to the point where I don't necessarily associate myself with players so much, it's more the team in general. Obviously, Henrik Lundqvist is a huge player for the New York Rangers who I respected and still respect to this day. A fantastic player for the organisation and kept us competitive for a very long time. I feel like my favourite player, if we had to go with one, like all time, it'd probably have to be Pavel Datsyuk. As I mentioned in my previous question, he was a big reason as to why I got interested in the sport of hockey anyway. In terms of least favourite NHL team, I've got to be honest, I don't really despise any teams specifically. You could always go with the kind of common answers for a Rangers fan, you know, like the Philadelphia Flyers, the New York Islanders, the New Jersey Devils, all of those kind of like rivalry teams. However, there isn't really a specific team that I don't like more than anyone else. There's teams that I think are kind of bland and don't really do anything for me, like the San Jose Sharks, the Calgary Flames, the Minnesota Wild. Those teams don't really do anything for me. I'm just kind of like, yeah, they're there, you know. But other than that, there's not really much else to talk about them, to be honest. I'm sorry if I've offended all of the fans from San Jose, Calgary, and Minnesota, but that's just the way I feel. I can't help it, guys. And then in terms of at least favourite player, no idea. Raffi Torres. Let's go with Raffi Torres. He's not even in the league anymore, but he liked to try and kill a load of NHL players while he was there, and pretty much every single suspension he was handed was well-deserved. So that's kind of like a cop-out answer. I haven't really put much thought into it, but I'll say Raffi Torres for the sake of the argument. You're welcome, Callum, alright? The next question is from Syntac, and it reads, you may have answered this before, but have you/do you play hockey? Well, thank you, Syntac, for your question, and the really quick answer, no. I don't play hockey. I've never played ice hockey before. I used to play field hockey when I was a little bit younger. I used to play with some of my friends for a team. I only did that for a little while, maybe a couple of months, half a year or so. But I've never played ice hockey. I've only ever skated twice in my life before. And I've never been the most athletic person anyway. So I knew that the odds were very much far against me. So I figured, you know what? I'm just going to be a fan and just enjoy watching the sport. I don't come out with any of the concussions or injuries that those guys have. So some might argue I have the best of both worlds here. But no, I don't play hockey. I've never played hockey. So unfortunately, I'm just the casual observer sitting on the side enjoying the craziness that unfolds in the game. So there you go. Next up, we have Matt F, who asks, what interests do you have outside of hockey? Any other sports? Well, thank you, Matt, for the question. Really appreciate it. In terms of my interests outside of sports completely, I'm a huge video game guy. Obviously, NHL 2004. getting me really interested in the sport of hockey to begin with. I've been playing through a load of the PlayStation 4 exclusives from last generation recently. I bought myself a PS4 Pro on Black Friday because all the PlayStation 5s and Series X's and everything were sold out, so I didn't get the chance to pick up one of them. So yeah, I'm a huge video game guy. I love myself a good movie. I love myself good TV shows and everything like that. In terms of actual sports though, I sometimes keep up to date with basketball. I sometimes keep up to date with the NFL, but nothing near as crazy as I am about the NHL and the sport of hockey. Soccer or football over here in the UK, really couldn't care less about. I'm not interested in it at all. I'll watch the World Cup and see how well England does every few years, but other than that, nothing crazy. So yeah, video games and watching stuff and making videos for you guys. Those are my interests. Hopefully that's enough. The next question is our first NHL-related question, and it comes from James Bender, who asks, is Auston Matthews a top 5 player? Well, thank you, James, for the question. It's a really good question to ask, actually. Is Auston Matthews a top 5 player in the National Hockey League right now? My answer would be probably not, in my opinion. Could you make the argument that he is a top 5 player in the NHL? Absolutely. There's more than enough of his track record to say, you know what, at this point in time, at the beginning of the 2020/21 NHL season, Auston Matthews could be considered a top 5 player in the league. Do I think he's a top 5 player though? I don't think so. I think he's more 6th, 7th or 8th. He's definitely top 10. I would have a hard time arguing that Auston Matthews is not a top 10 player in the National Hockey League right now. If you're asking me who my top 5 are, so if you're thinking, well, if Auston Matthews isn't a top 5 player, then who is? I'd have to go with Connor McDavid, obviously, Sidney Crosby, obviously, Leon Draisaitl, because, you know, his Hart Trophy win recently, Nathan McKinnon, because he's been a fantastic player, and I'd probably have to go Artemi Panarin. That might be my New York Rangers bias there, but he was a solid player for the team this last year. Considering the journey he's had and how high he's reached in the NHL over the last few years, I feel like he's got to be up there as well. Could you argue that Auston Matthews is better than Artemi Panarin? Maybe. I mean, if we're talking top 5 goal scorers in the NHL, Auston Matthews is definitely up there. I'd say he's tied second, maybe third with David Pastrnak. It's kind of Ovi, Pastrnak, Matthews are kind of interchangeable at the top 3 at this point in time. A couple of years ago, it would have been Ovi straight up at the top, but Maple Leafs fans might want to attack me after this video, but, you know, that's my opinion. And if you want it, take it. If you don't, don't. You know, life's too short to worry about these things. So let's just move on. We have a question now from Shloomy Shlooms, which is a fantastic name. So thanks for the question, by the way, bud, who asks, along with / after YouTube, would you be interested in working in traditional hockey media? Kind of like what Steve Dangle has done with Sportsnet. I've got to be honest, that would be great. I would love that, to kind of be involved in the traditional hockey media, but not so much in terms of the newspaper columnists of decades gone by, kind of having that new age feel to reporting hockey. I think what Steve Dangle has done is incredibly impressive. I listen to his podcast quite regularly. I don't really watch his videos so much per se, but Steve Dangle, he's kind of the prime example of what a lot of hockey fans would really love to do when they start making YouTube channels, when they start thinking, you know what, I'm going to make some hockey videos. It's either they want to cultivate an audience of like-minded hockey fans and talk about the sport in general, or they're like, you know what, this might be my opportunity to springboard me into a career in hockey media. Is it going to happen for me? Probably not. I don't know. Maybe. We'll have to see how time goes on. But I've got to be honest, if YouTube wasn't a thing and if it wasn't as big as it was and I didn't get as lucky as I did on this platform, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to be reporting on hockey like I am now. I don't really report on it. I kind of tell you interesting stories and look at deep dives into players' careers and everything like that. Kind of more of a storyteller and a kind of documentaries about players. They're not really documentaries, but some people have called them that, and I kind of like that, I've got to be honest. But yeah, like a guy from the countryside of England who his nearest ice rink is an hour and a half away. If he wants an elite league team, he has to go 3 hours north of himself. The fact that I've been able to have such success in the NHL and kind of become a go-to guy for storytelling and from NHL fans, like, that's such a privilege, and I'm so lucky to be in this position. Like, YouTube has really given me that platform to go, you know what, I really like the sport of hockey, and I originally made this channel because I didn't really know anybody else around me that liked the sport of hockey. You know, countryside of England is all about the Premier League and football and cricket and everything like that. And I'm not interested in that. I don't care about cricket or rugby. I care about guys throwing hip checks and dropping the gloves, you know? So the fact that, yeah, I've been able to, get so many people, like 27.5k people to come to most of my videos and take a look at them and be like, I actually quite like what this guy has to say. YouTube is the only reason I've been able to do that. And if that leads to a job in the hockey media, I will absolutely take it 100%. And it'll be all thanks to the platform that YouTube gave me. I know it's really easy to kind of bag on YouTube and a lot of the decisions they make and a lot of the mistakes they make and things they don't do that they should. But at the same time, you've got to count your blessings at some point, right? But yeah, they've helped me give me this platform, and I've got to appreciate it. And if that leads to a job in the hockey media, I'll take it hands down. That would be a fantastic job, wouldn't it? I'll answer a couple more questions before the end of this video, and this one comes from RaisedDog04, who asks, what's the skill level of UK players in the EIHL? The EIHL is the Elite Ice Hockey League, for those of you who don't know. It's the professional league here in the UK, and we have a lot of UK-born players in that league who... their quality of play isn't very high up there in terms of the European caliber. However, we've started to get some players in the German DEL, which is, of course, where Tim Stützle and Leon Draisaitl came from. We've got some players in the French league, which is kind of rivaling us in terms of quality. We have our national team netminder, our Team GB starting netminder playing in Austria at the moment in the Ice Hockey League. So we've got some players that are kind of starting to peak there. We had one player that was supposed to play in the KHL a couple of seasons ago. However, his contract was terminated with the team just before the season got started. Would have been really good to have the first British-born player in the KHL, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. So yeah, we're kind of, a lot of our local players stay local here in the UK. So we've got some of our local grown prospects and product out there across Europe and kind of in North America. We have him in Liam Kirk in the Arizona Coyotes organization. We have some players in Austria and France and Germany, whether it be the DL or the DL2. So we're kind of starting to get that feel now. The infrastructure of UK hockey is starting to get there. We've got a long way to go if we want to compete with the other European nations, but we're starting to get some good homegrown players that are now starting to plant their roots elsewhere in Europe and hopefully increase the quality of UK hockey for many years to come, and hopefully get us to be a decent team in the international circuit. So thank you, RaisedDog, for the question. That's a really good one, and I love to talk about UK hockey, so I'll take any chance I get. And the last question I'll answer today is from Alex Saunders, who asks, what is the most valuable piece of hockey merchandise you own? Well, thank you, Alex, for the question. I have quite a lot of hockey merchandise in my collection. I don't really have any super high, mega expensive value items, to be honest. My collection is very much made up of smaller, kind of mid-level priced stuff. When you put it all together, it makes a nice, impressive collection. I have about 14 different jerseys, most of them NHL jerseys, but some of them from other teams around Europe and around the hockey world. I'm thinking about doing a jersey collection video this Tuesday, so let me know in the comments below if you want to see that. I'm kind of thinking of it. Some of you have asked for it. I know I teased it a couple of videos ago, but if you want to see that, do let me know. I have lots of different hockey cards, signed, jersey, memorabilia stuff, but no like super crazy ones. I've got a lot of rookie cards from some of the big rookies recently. I've got a nice little collection, but in terms of the most valuable thing, the most valuable piece of hockey memorabilia or merchandise I own, it's probably got to be one of my NHL jerseys. I don't really have anything that's more expensive than that, because NHL jerseys are what, like $200 maybe? I feel like that's the most I've ever spent on something hockey related. And I've got several of them. So kind of my NHL jersey collection is probably the most valuable merchandise / memorabilia I own in terms of the hockey world. But I'm more about the sentimental value personally, finding stuff that like has meaning to me. And if it's, valuable and I can sell it on in years' time if I need to, then, why not? And on that note, I think this is a really good place to end today's video. I know it's not my usual type of Sunday upload, but I really do hope that you guys enjoyed this Q&A. It's something a little bit different, something unique, and I know it might not perform as well as some of my other videos do, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it nonetheless, the ones of you that did come out and see it. I've got plenty of really good videos coming up for the next couple of weeks. Do let me know if you want to see that jersey collection video. I could probably upload that Tuesday this week or something if you guys are interested. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, or watch some of my other videos. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye. A big thank you to Carl Fairbank, Chris Gadsby, Connor B, Drew Fawcett, Jordan Whitehead, Martin Tolness, Roman from London, Tom from Finland, and Worthless Pieces for helping support this video via Patreon. If you too want to help support the channel a little bit further and get a shout out at the end of every future video, make sure you head over to patreon.com/oddmanrush and become a patron today.